What's up everyone, it's the failed one. So today we're going to continue playing Lamento Beyond the Void. Last time we got a glimpse of the world around and we got to see our main character, Konoe. And then we got into a little bit of a fist fight with Sin, one of the neighboring cat villagers. We beat him up and now here we are, so we're going to continue. Konoe had been walking, but now stopped in his tracks. Those words he heard lit a flame somewhere in his heart. Why did this guy need to bring up trivial things like this? Konoe turned, pulled out his sword, and threw it. It was stuck in the earth near the fallen Sin's feet, and a miserable scream echoed.
うるさい。それ以上喋るな。早く消えろよ、お前。
Sin curled his tail between his legs and fled when he heard Konoe's strong tone. Ooh, he's mad. Once he saw that Sin's figure was leaving for sure this time, Konoe walked off with a brisk pace. A rough breath escaped, filled with pent-up anger. Orphans, what a trivial thing. Alright, that's the last thing Sid said. So I guess Konoe heard it when he was saying that stuff about the orphans. When other cats talked about it, it didn't matter. Still, when other cats pointed it out, Konoe felt angry. He had respected his parents over anyone else. Konoe had a memory from when he was young, when his mother told him, "You are a precious child of this earth, and you are loved." But what was love? Konoe couldn't answer it. Something like that didn't seem real to him. It seemed important despite being impossible to understand. Aw. It's kinda sad that Konoe doesn't understand what love is, but he's also been alone his whole life, so it makes sense that he wouldn't understand. But I mean, he will soon understand what love is. Without pausing his feet, Konoe surveyed his surroundings. No matter how much noise he'd made, no other cats had exited their homes. It was normal in Karo. The battles, and their victims. Maybe some of them even thought it was good that other cats died. Oh, that's such a sad village to live in. Because maybe that way they could overcome the starvation just a little longer. So if no one shows up, they won't starve? Or they won't... I don't think I quite understand what they meant. Or what he means. The evening moon dyed the sky red. Something stirred inside him. Maybe something exciting would come to pass, so he thought. On his way to the village entrance, he stopped. Another territorial dispute was taking place. These cats, they like to fight! 3 cats were fighting, 2 versus 1. Maybe 2 of them were Toga and...
Sanga.
His eyes narrowed unintentionally. Sanga and Toga, they fought in tandem. One the singing cat and the other the fighting cat, respectively. Toga's fighting abilities were nothing unusual. Many of the Karo cats were Toga. But the Sanga's powers were decided from the moment they were brought into the world. Okay, so Toga and Sanga are kind of like clans or a breed of cats, I suppose. Only those with an innate power could develop into a Sanga. Interesting. The role of the Sanga was to support the Toga through a special song. There are many kinds, those who sang or played musical instruments, or those who gave out the melody from their very bodies. That gave strength to a Toga. A Toga with a Sanga and without one, the difference was vast. Such a scene was now unfolding before Konoe's eyes. Or maybe he never saw this before, seeing both a Toga and a Sanga work together. Although they're supposed to, but because of all the crap that's been happening, it's probably very rare to see anyone, let alone a Toga and a Sanga together. He'd heard rumors of it in Karo, but this was the first time he'd actually seen it in action. The Toga brandished his sword, and the Sangha clapped his hands in front of his chest, closing his eyes. The opposing Toga shuddered, knowing he should be afraid. Desperate, the foe raised his voice in a cry and rushed towards the Sangha. If the Sangha was killed, the chances of winning became greater. The support of a Sangha was too great a threat. While the Toga brandished his blade, the Sangha opened his eyes. A singing voice sounded. No, rather than a voice, it was a sound that resounded within his ears. The body of the Sangha shone brightly, and the light flowed to the Toga. The Toga received this song and was gone within another moment. No, he was not gone. When Konoe finally realized it, the Toga had already buried his sword deep into the chest of his opponent. So he got like super speed powers here. It all happened in a split second. The cat that was pierced by the sword fell to the ground and his face contorted with pain. You really don't have a chance when there's a Sangha and a Toga together. Such was the power of the Sangha. Cats were usually agile on their feet, but this speed was incredible. Having a Sangha around meant victory or defeat. The Sangha and Toga pair left without even casting another glance at the dead cat. Oh, and they're cold-hearted. They're just like, I'll stab you! You're dead! Leave. Feeling like he was trapped in a dream, Konoe remembered to exhale. His heart beat like a drum, his head felt hot. Quiet excitement whirled in his body. He wondered what it was like to receive power from a Sangha's song. Must be an interesting feeling actually to like, you hear this beautiful melody or something like that, and then you gain so much power. On top of that, Konoe is a fighter, somewhat, or at least he's pretty good at fighting from what we saw with Sin, so I'm pretty sure he would like to know what it's like to have even greater power. After a moment, he became aware that his tail was stiff and puffed out. I believe that's what a cat does when they're scared. So this fight must have really made him freak out a little bit. Once they left, there was only dead silence. The victim's breath had been cut short with just one blow. The smell of blood hung in the air. Sooner or later, this body would be collected as a sacrifice, as food. Konoe was hesitant about just leaving it there. He approached the corpse. Its face was frozen in a fearful expression. It was the look of a person who did not want to die. Konoe put his hands on both sides of the body and lifted it up. He tried to drag it to the forest, but stopped. There was another person here. Konoe clicked his tongue. A shadow hid in the bushes of the forest. Uh-oh, who's gonna show up now? Maybe he wasn't alive. When he sniffed, he smelled a faint but horribly disgusting odor. Oh, shoot. Another one that might have died. The shadowy corpse had a faint puddle of liquid around it, like a puddle of rain. Okay, yeah, it really seems like it's a corpse. Konoe lowered his eyebrows. The void attacked him. The corpse could not return to the earth. The body had decayed but not melt into the earth, so all it could do was build up on top of the dirt. Ooh, that's disgusting. Just outward appearances were nothing when trying to find traces of the void. Konoe put the corpse he was holding in another place, away from there. Well, we know our Konoe, our main character, is somewhat sympathetic, and at least enough to like not just dump the corpse anywhere or dump a body of someone dead anywhere, but like he's like, well, we'll keep you away from that disgusting corpse. I don't want to taint you. When he looked at the corpse, he recalled the scream from last night. Of course, this cat didn't want to die, but still, death seemed like a form of salvation now. Yeah, probably better than being completely taken in by the void. At least, it was better than being a sacrifice. Konoe turned his back and began to run. Some time had passed, so he needed to hurry to the village entrance. Konoe saw a lonely shadow struggling by the side of the entrance to the village and quickened his pace. The cat in profile had heavy baggage at his feet and was looking up at the sky. Someone coming? It was definitely Tokino. The one guy we actually wanted to meet we finally meet him. Tokino heard his footsteps and raised his ears, a smile crossing his face.
Konoe!
Ooh, he's cute.
待たせた。ごめん。
全然。一巡りの月ぶりか。元気そうでよかった。
そっちも。
Konoe was actually more glad than he expected to be. Well, yeah, after getting into a fight and seeing someone else die, I think I would be happy to see, like, my childhood friend again, like, even more. He didn't know exactly why, but Tokino's bright demeanor made him smile. In this world, methods to count the days were passed down from the time of 2 canes. The time between the rise of the moon of light and setting of the moon of shadow was 1 day. 7 days were called a 7 moon, and 30 cycles made a round moon. No one knew just why the 7th and 13th day were chosen, but because it was knowledge from 2 canes, no one argued it. So it's almost like our system, I suppose. Tokino pushed lightly against his shoulder. Konoe affectionately returned the greetings. Ooh, something going on here. Tokino let out a small, pleased purr, but turned inquisitive.
あれ、コノエ、なんかしてきた？
ここへ来る前にちょっと
喧嘩したの？
縄張りのことでやたらと絡んでくるやつがいたから。
縄張りか。
Tokino muttered with a distant look. Ranson, where Tokino lived, was Cisa's most prosperous city. Diplomacy with other lands was limited thanks to the enormous coral reef that surrounded Cisa. As a result, Cisa developed independently. Even so, Ranson was always taking in visitors, with cats passing in and out day and night. So Cisa seems to be a difficult land to live in. Hence, the cats of Ranson were not very territorial.
喧嘩ってもちろんコノエが勝ったんだよな。
ああ。
怪我とかしてないか？
大丈夫だ。
そっか、よかった。
Tokino smiled and laughed, giving a teasing shrug.
でも、うちは薬の種類も豊富だから、怪我しても大丈夫だよ。
俺にまで商売するつもりか、お前。
I was trying to use every moment to sell us something, huh?
まあね。
Tokino bent down and reached into the heavy luggage near his feet. It was a large, durable woven basket which he could hang over his shoulder on a stick. From food to medicine, a variety of things were packed in there. At first glance, Tokino had a thinner build than Konoe, but after a closer look, one could see that Tokino's arms, shoulders, and hands were rougher and stronger than Konoe's, probably from working on all those medicines. It was probably life as a peddler that shaped him this way. But today, Tokino seemed tired. The weight of the basket made him stagger and fatigue showed on his face, probably tired from his journey from Ranson all the way to Cisa.
ふらついてるぞ。
ああ、うん。もうすぐランセンで大きな祭りがあるからさ、その準備で今ちょっと忙しくて。でも大丈夫。
Tokino fell on his backside before he could finish speaking. You really should take care of your health, no matter what you do. You can't finish your task if you don't take care of yourself, and it's gonna be even more of a burden. The heavy basket he was carrying made a loud thud.
やっちゃったよ。
Tokino scratched his head with a wry smile. Konoe smiled at the situation. He figured he'd just take the basket from Tokino. It was okay, he was having fun now. Konoe grasped the whole of the basket and turned it around. Tokino stood up in a hurry, dusted off his bottom, and shook his head in a panic.
あ、いいよコノエ。悪いから。
疲れてるんだろ。
でもそれ重いし、それに俺慣れてるしさ、気にしないで。
目の前で転ばれて気にするなって方が無理だ。
Tokino's eyebrows lowered as if in apology. Konoe hefted the basket onto his shoulder. Kind of like that too, sometimes. Depends with who, but I don't like pushing my things onto other people. It felt like his body might fall. His ears turned down and he looked embarrassed. There's nothing to be embarrassed about, you're tired. Then Konoe extended 3 fingers in front of Tokino. This many.
何が？
Tokino asked. He blinked several times, confused.
だから3つで。
何の話だよ。
Tokino, you're supposed to know. You're like best friends here.
クイム。
ああ、そういうことか。
Tokino raised his tail, his eyes sparkling with happiness, and nodded. Kuims were a type of nut-like sweet and sour fruit and were popular among the Ribika. Konoe loved them. Sweet and sour fruit, huh? Sounds kinda nice. I'm more of a sweet person though. I can't take things that are too sour. So since Tokino didn't want him to just carry that basket, Konoe decided to make a trade.
そんなことしなくても、いつもお土産に持ってきてるじゃないか。
カゴを持つ口実だよ。
口実って堂々と言うなよ。
さっき転んだ時大丈夫だったか？
ああ、全然平気。ピンピンしてるよ。
Tokino stomped his feet on the ground and let out a laugh. Konoe gave him a teasing smile in return.
お前もついでに背負っていこうか？
Ooh, I'd love to see that.
は？
Tokino's eyes widened, an amusing expression. It made Konoe turn away to hide his laughter.
お前な。いいさ。そうやって笑ってればいいだろう。いいよ別に。
Tokino seemed to be offended, but came around immediately. Konoe carried the basket steadily, but it was definitely heavy. I wanna see this. I wanna see Tokino get a piggyback ride from Konoe. I think that would be super adorable. Even so, he talked with Tokino the whole time they walked home. Konoe spoke with Tokino about various things while swishing his tail in a relaxed manner. Tokino carried all kinds of food and drink in his basket to be sold, along with some more unusual wares. Konoe pulled out a queen, dried fruit, and herbs. He put all these in a bowl and ground them together with a pestle.
それ何？
Konoe presented Tokino the bowl.
舐めてみろよ。
この粉？
別にワンの部分を舐めたければ止めないけど。
嘘。いただきます。
Tokino picked up some of the admittedly unappetizing powder with his finger and licked it off. At first he looked stern, but his eyes suddenly sparkled.
うまい。甘酸っぱくて。
一緒に混ぜたくせに酸味があるんだ。乾燥させると青臭さが抜けるから、こうやって食べると意外と合う。
While he spoke, Konoe also gathered some with his fingers and licked it up. A somewhat sour taste spread throughout his mouth.
へえ。果物と草を混ぜるのってこっちじゃあまり聞かないな。この絵ってこういうのよく知ってるよな。
They're making me very curious as to what it tastes like. Like, I can't handle things that are too sour, but that's not to say I don't like sour things. Like, I like sweet and sour. So I am very, very curious as to what it tastes like.
別にたまにいろいろ試したりしてるから。
そっか。
So Konoe is kind of like a little chef at his house, trying different things to see what tastes good. Talking about other things all the while they ate. As usual, Tokino had plenty of interesting stories to share, but one topic in particular began to concern Konoe. Recently, monsters and demons seem to have appeared in the forest around Ranson.
帰りは
そんなに頻繁に出てくるわけじゃないらしいから。襲われたって話も聞かないし、一応飽きない猫たちの間で流れてる安全なルートってやつがあるんだ。でも気をつけなくちゃな。野党も出るらしいし。
Yeah, just like we saw when we were on our way to meet Tokino, there were at least 2 out there that might hurt him. Even though Tokino was smiling, Konoe felt uneasy. Tokino prepared to leave before it got too late. He was supposed to be leaving Karo before midnight.
はい、約束だろ。
Tokino handed Konoe 4 small red kuums before leaving the house. Maybe Konoe is gonna make more of that special powder thing that he made before.
一つ多い。
一つは俺の気持ち。今度来るときはもっと持ってくるよ。
いい。カゴを担いだ報酬だし。
Tokino just laughed and shrugged it off.
わかったよ。頑固だな、この絵は。
He's very stubborn.
お前に言われたくないな。
そっか。お。
Tokino seemed to have remembered something and lowered the basket, pulling out something from inside.
はい、これ。
He held out a red flower known as the sekiyami.
この絵、この花の匂い好きだろ。来る途中で咲いてたから摘んできた。
It's super sweet of him.
別に好きってほどじゃ。
Oh, Konoe is a tsundere. Konoe muttered and turned his face away, but his tail shook happily. He's a total tsundere.
尻尾は嘘をつけないってさ。はい。
The downside of being a cat, your tail gives away everything. Konoe took the flower reluctantly, and Tokino shouldered his basket again.
それじゃあまた来る。怪我や病気には気をつけて。
そっちこそ帰り道は用心しろよ。
ああ。
Konoe raised his tail while waving goodbye, and Tokino disappeared into the night. And I hope Wow, can't talk today. I hope Tokino is gonna be okay. I hope he doesn't meet anybody dangerous. While he watched his friends back, Konoe felt a sense of fulfillment. Meeting Tokino was always like this, but at the same time he felt a little anxious. Konoe had a bad feeling, like a premonition. In other words, something is gonna happen. Because this is a VN, and when the main character gets a bad feeling, shit always hits the fan. He tossed one of the kuims he had gotten from Tokino into his mouth and savored the flavor. First, sweetness spread through his mouth, followed by sourness. Konoe looked at the rest of the fruit and then to the sky. High above, the moon of shadows shone its cruel blue light, and it poured over him. Konoe started to head back inside his house, but a light caught his eye. What was that? A flame flickered in the quiet village. In front of a certain home, a torch was placed. Oh no. Don't tell me a fire is gonna break out. Seeing it, Konoe remembered the scream from last night. 2 cats would be sacrificed today. That was the house of one of the victims. Sacrificed? It was the last resort for the cats who suffered from hunger because of the void. In the present situation where food was not widespread, it was unusual to see dead bodies. Under normal circumstances, corpses would be buried with respect. Oh, I understand now. That's where they get their meat. They go around scavenging for fruits and nuts. And then the meat comes in the form of other cats, other Rubikas. but the instinct to survive justified brutality, and that was how the cats of the village were now. So whether the void gets you or not, you still resort to cannibalism to survive. For cats starving with hunger, a body was food. It was only flesh from which a soul had already left. However, it wasn't every day that someone died. If they ran out of corpses to eat, the next attack would be aimed at living bodies. The old cats were the first to go. Next were the women and children who were with. That is cruel. I mean, okay, this might sound mean, but I can understand you killing the old cats first. Because, well, they're old, they're gonna die anyways, we'll go with that. But then killing the women and children, who's gonna grow up and like continue the lineage or the species that you are? If you kill the women and children, those should be like kind of left for last, so that at least they can continue, or like your species can survive. Because without women and children, well, how are you gonna survive? It's just gonna end with you dying in the end anyways. Some time ago, Karo had fallen into this hellish nightmare. The number of females and children decreased dramatically. No wonder we become gay. There's no more women. An epidemic had spread amongst the female cats. The sickness, the high emergence rate and mortality of the disease had led to a sharp decrease in their population. Now there was not even a single female in Karo. And on top of that, you kill them. Yeah, that's very nice. And you kill like a diseased body. I mean, you eat a diseased body. Is that what we do? Because this doesn't make any sense to me. In order to manage the situation, the leader of Karo had made a decision. Every third moon, or if starvation was severe enough, every second moon, a sacrifice would be chosen. Out of necessity, the village chose a sacrificial cat in order to fill up the bellies of the cats. I think at this point I might try to leave this village. I don't know if I want to become a sacrifice or risk the chance of becoming a sacrifice. If I leave, well, who knows how it's like out in the world. But I mean, the other villagers might have a different idea of how to survive. This was not something limited to just Karo. It seemed to be performed in other villages as well, but it was not mandatory to eat the sacrifice. But still, okay, yeah. You leave this village and then you don't know where to go because you don't know which villages you might die in. This really does suck ass. A cat will eat what it wants to eat. The practice was worthy of disdain, and of course they were never any volunteers. Some cats couldn't take such a cruel decision and thought about fleeing the village. However, beyond the southern forest, there was a high cliff, and the void consumed the forests to the north. So you really are stuck in a bind. It was difficult to leave the village, so everyone lived in fright, wondering if they would be the next sacrifice. Two shadows stood in front of the house with the burning torch. Most likely one of these two cats was the sacrifice. The other may have been a close relation to the first. They were separating. Tonight was the night before his death. Konoe began to think while he watched the appearance of the two solemn cats. If, when he was chosen as a sacrifice himself, what would happen? What would he do? I think I would end up running for my life and trying to save myself. I know it's like cruel and selfish, but I don't know if I could just be there and be like, okay, kill me for the rest of the village. He was alone. No one would grieve over him. His mother had died and had barely managed to return to the earth without being eaten by the other cats. But when she succumbed to her illness, no one extended a helping hand. This is a severely cruel, like, all for yourself type of world. So only the strong will survive technically in a world like this. Konoe was younger then, but he remembered it well. At that time, things were already beginning to become harsh in the village, so it might have been their only choice. But Konoe was still unable to forgive them. He could not forget the eyes of the cats who looked down on his mother as if she were a nuisance who needed to hurry up and die. That is very, very cruel. But he only felt it slightly. Konoe didn't have any parents or a spouse. He couldn't be eaten without any impact on the other members of the village. Konoe could be chosen soon. It would make sense from a logistical point of view. Kill him. But he's cute! At that time, he wondered if they would eat him quietly. Would they quietly crush him between their jaws and fangs, his bones, flesh, eyes, ears, everything? No. No, his soft voice cracked in the depths of his throat. He hated it. Konoe refused to become a sacrifice for people he hated. He could live alone. I don't think I would I would sacrifice my body for people I didn't like. That's kind of stupid. It's like, okay, well, kill myself, take my body. I hope you die, though, because I hate you. He already lived by himself. Konoe was already alone. But what if there was someone he wanted to help? Not just to satisfy someone, but to help. Could he be sacrificed? If there was actually someone Konoe thought he'd want to help, would he think it'd be okay if I died for them? What kind of feeling was that? Konoe broke off the thought that had begun to wander. He became aware that his tail's fur was standing on end. There was no use in thinking about a thing that wasn't going to happen. All Konoe could do was struggle to live through tomorrow. And with that, we are going to end this episode here. So, unfortunately, we're ending on a sad note. Something happy did happen where we got to see Tokino, our super close childhood friend, and our only friend, really. But we're going to be ending with people being sacrificed and us thinking about what our life even means, which is nothing, seeing as we're all alone. Just struggling to live till tomorrow. So with that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!